All right, it's September and deer are shifting. We have Josh Profitt from Kentucky talking about how to locate deer as food sources are changing and how it is important to scout first, hunt second when you lose your target buck. Hope you guys enjoy this. Here we go. Okay, so you're putting these cameras out on beans. For instance, in Illinois, October 1, those beans probably aren't going to be as attractive come October 1. So what are some things that people should be keeping in the back of their mind? Okay, this deer is alive. They got summer bevel pictures of them on beans. I mean, what's step number 2 in your process?
Man, the thing about a deer is their diet is so vast. A deer can eat over 600 things. I mean, it's hard to pinpoint on what they're going to eat. But like October 1, white oaks. The thing that I've always ran into white oaks is we either have none or we have billions. A lot of this woods I hunt is big timber stuff. It's hard to pinpoint a deer down on white oaks because I literally feel like they're everywhere, or at least a lot of the places I hunt. If you can find some secluded oaks, by all means. But another thing that I found out that a lot of deer do, they'll do like a green to green. They'll do like a green to green transfer. Like when them beans start turning, if there's a hay field or something, that's what they'll go to. And, a lot of times people are harvesting corn in September, or they do here in Kentucky. And then I feel like a lot of deer will switch to them. I mean, you just got to stay on your game. It's not rocket science, just follow the food around, move your cameras around. If you got time to scout, glass, do whatever you need to do. It's like me, if I'm not confident, I just won't hunt. I'll just scout. I mean, that's kind of what I'm known for. I've had so many people tell me that I need to be hunting when I'm out scouting or checking trail cameras. But I mean, in the end, it's always worked out pretty good for me.
Yeah, that is a constant struggle for sure of figuring out if you should be scouting or hunting. And then when you're scouting, you feel like you should be hunting. And when you're hunting, you're like, man, I should probably be scouting. So it's a back and forth.
It can get difficult, but I always tell people to, figure out like the when, where, and why. Like, when is a deer coming here? Why is he coming here? And where is he going? It's a lot easier to narrow down in the areas that I hunt this hill farm country. It's a lot easier to narrow down the food sources. That's why I always start there than it is the bedding. But if you can kind of pinpoint them down, you don't have to be exact. A lot of these guys are hunting right on these deer's beds, and they're great. I'm just not that good at it.
The question I have is, there's the thought of deer shifting their patterns and changing so much from the summer to the fall. I mean, what do you say to someone that mentions that?
It all goes back to never letting your season end. Getting the boots on the ground, grinding it out, knowing your deer, knowing your terrain. I've seen it both ways, man. I've seen it every way you can think of. I've seen deer that were homebodies that would never leave a general 600 acres. I felt like I've seen deer that would be in the summer over here, then 2 miles over here in the fall. You just got to get out there and scout. Know your deer, know your property, because they do shift around, and it depends on how you're hunting, if you're hunting public ground or private ground. But, I've had some just super hot areas go stone cold because of hunting pressure. Everything's there, and that sometimes there will even be some sign there, but it's out-of-state hunters have moved in, or some local guys have got some pictures of some nice deer. They just turn it cold.
So in that type of scenario, are you looking for other public that's nearby, or like trying to find where those deer are shifting to, or is it typically just pack up and move on?
I try not to step foot on the ground unless it's at least 5,000 acres. And, I've never been one to run my cameras real close together. I've basically ran them all. Most all my cameras are inventory cameras. I like to do the woodsmanship work myself. When they move, man, I always pick them up. I always pick them up. I'll have a couple areas where I always tell everybody I stack my odds. I'll have 300 or 400 acres that's a part of this 5,000 or 7,000 acres. Well, heck, there may be 7 to 10 shooters in this general area. And, that's typically where I hang out. But just because I've always scouted so much, if an area went cold, I've always known where to go. And sometimes, like, if I've kind of put myself in a panic, I mean, all I do is I just go back to the common sense stuff, is putting the boots back on the ground, scouting, checking cameras, looking for fresh sign, and then taking it from there.